Young athletes with big stories. These sports stories are here to motivate, equip, and enlighten the next generation. You're listening to an Echo Sports production. Here's your host.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning into this episode of the Echo Sports Girls High School Hoops podcast. And I've got Wagner High School head girls basketball coach Annissa Jackson here with me. Coach Jackson, thanks for joining us today. Really excited to have you on. Always love the way your teams play. Looking forward to talking Wagner hoops with you. I know some things that maybe some folks that aren't from the San Antonio area or from Texas may not know, but you played at the University of Texas, playing for the legendary Coach Jody Conradt. I just got to ask, though, I know Texas is a blue blood program. Was there anywhere else that you were considering? I'd love to know your top three if there was anybody else, or was it just Texas all the way?
Man, that was a long time ago. I really liked, to be honest, I really liked North Texas. They had like a good program coming up, but being able to stay at home, I was really close to my grandmother, so being able to stay at home, her being able to come see me play all the time, it's right there. Being able to play for Coach Conrad, of course. I mean, it was just a no-brainer for me. Texas has so much tradition, and I'm blessed and thankful that I was able to get a scholarship to play at the University of Texas.
So playing for Coach Conrad, I know she's a legendary coach, ton of experience, very successful. What did you learn from her? Have you taken from the things that the nuggets of knowledge that you learned in your 4 years there playing for her that you use in your program today from a philosophical standpoint?
I would definitely say details. Coach was very detail oriented. Little things that you didn't even think. Like we had to all look alike. Like our shoes had to be alike. Before we would go into games, like she's fixing our uniforms, like so our sports bar wouldn't be showing. So it's little things like that I noticed myself picking up on. Like all my girls, like, they know when we get off the bus, they got to all have their sweats on. They can't have anything on their head. Like, I'm big on them looking alike, and just, I'm big on that old tradition. And some people are like, oh, that's old school. Yeah, you're right. It is old school, but that's definitely something that I picked up from Coach. And I don't think it's ever going
I think that certainly matters. Those little
coach.
Details of being a team and matching in certain ways. Sure, there's in today's age, individuality does play a part, but looking nice, you play, you feel professional, you look professional. Hey, you're going to go out there and represent your community and your team and feel good about yourself. So I think those are all important things. So I certainly agree with that, Coach. Now, you guys return seven lettermen from last year's team, so you have an experienced team. You lost Mackenzie Amison, another senior. She's at Midwestern State now. Just talk about how excited you are about this group coming up.
I'm very excited about this group. We went to the third round last year, disappointing loss, but you live and you learn and you grow. We had some young kids, that got to experience that. I have 3 sophomores that'll be coming up that are going to be, huge for us. Of course, we have LA, but at the end of the day, LA can't do it by herself. So Nia McBride is going to be big for us, taking the ball out of LA hands a little bit, her pushing the tempo, and then we have Elle Williams. She's very athletic. She's going to surprise a lot of people this year. She's been playing really well in workouts, And then we have Nahala Bell. Also, she's another SA finalist kid, that's going to come. So those 3 played together all summer, with the finalists coming back, I'm going to put my little spin on things for them. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. I think we're going to do some good things. Of course, they got to, get in the groove of it, and play hard. Like, that's just my thing. Just play hard, have fun, and go out and showcase all the things that
absolutely,
you've been
definitely. With Nia, what she was made all region last year as a freshman, so had a really solid freshman season. Elle Williams had a chance to see her play all summer as well as during the season, and solid player, and Nyla Bell, definitely coming along, someone that kind of really started getting into the game late, really developing her game. So definitely excited to see what goes on there with that group. But I'm just curious, like coming into the fall, so you had a lot of freshmen and sophomores on last year's squad, even still making it all the way to the third round. With them having those 30-something varsity games and a whole spring season with you, if you will, what did you emphasize coming into this fall?
For me, it's mental toughness, being tough, not only physically, but mentally as well, pushing them past, pushing them out their comfort zone. I'm very big on that. And I think they're figuring it out. Again, especially Nia at that point guard position, her being able to, play, with LA and play behind LA and learn from LA. That's going to be huge for her. And it has been huge. She's grown so much just in this fall season that we've had and working out. She's figuring it out. She's growing up, and it's a beautiful
Now,
thing
you
to see.
guys start practice here in Texas Wednesday. I just got to know I'm sure you and your assistants, you're a detail-oriented coach, have already started talking through, hey, this is what we're hitting. I'm just curious, this first week, what is going to be emphasized in the Thunderbird program this week?
Defense and toughness. Defense is what, defense pushing the tempo. Like that's the way we play. That's what we're known for. And that's what we're going to always be known for, playing defense and being tough and pushing a tempo. We want to make teams, like just push the ball down the team's throat and make them have to guard us. We don't want to have to set up a play because we want to be pushing in
Understood.
transition.
Now, coming into the season, Judson ISD is hosting a tournament. It's new to San Antonio. I've seen the brackets. I'm excited for what is coming to the city, the tip-off and the tone. Talk a little bit about what to expect from that tournament and how excited you guys are to host that.
We're very excited. We started planning stuff like at the end of the season. We started actually talking about it during the season, but at the end of the season, we started like hitting it hard and opening it up to different teams. We did have a lot of teams reach out, but we end up only, capping it at 24 with it being our first tournament. We don't want to, bite off too much. It being our first tournament, but I think these 24 teams that we have are some solid teams. We have some good teams coming in from out of town, which is good. And it's preseason, so you want to play against good teams.
Absolutely.
So you can see where your team
now,
is.
talking about district play, the district does change a little bit. You all are bringing in Alamo Heights. Piper Ranch was there last season, right? And then you have
yes, Piper was there
Bernie.
last.
Bernie, a mainstay at 4A, been to the last regional finals the past 4 years and made 2 state appearances. So Coach Reedy and her program, they're going to bring a competitive and experienced roster back. What do you expect from? I know you've gone undefeated the past 2 seasons. What do you expect with the changes in district? Do you see anything different happening? Yes.
For us, no, I expect us to do what we do. I expect us to be district champions again and roll on into the playoffs and
You
make
guys
a
are
state
certainly
run again.
prepared for that with what you guys have coming off, with that experienced roster. Now, with your group, in regards to, you have a lot of players. I think it's hard to guard kids that are very similar in size, and it seems like that is a collection of your roster. You don't necessarily have a traditional big or interior player. What is it that you guys like to do if someone does force you to slow down a little bit? What is it that you guys like to go to get into the actions or to get the shots from the spots that you guys want to get to?
If somebody does slow us down, because we do have teams that try to do that. We still want to get downhill. We want to keep the pressure on the defense at all times. We do have a high caliber type of kids that like to get downhill, that can get past defenders, even if they are in a zone. So we still do what we do, no matter what they're trying to do. We still try to get downhill, run different sets.
Absolutely not,
Of course, I'm not going to say our sets, but, We run different sets to, try to get our kids, freed up. But like you said, when you have kids that have the same mindset, and our mindset is to get downhill, like it's kind of tough to guard, because if you, okay, say you're stopping in LA, then Nia comes off a pick or something like that, and then it's Nia, then you have L, so it's gonna be fun to
Now,
watch.
you mentioned in your daughter, LA Sneed, one of the top 20, 25 players in the country, coming off a fantastic summer, recently committing to the University of Utah. I'm just curious, with your experience, how much feedback did you give throughout the recruiting process for her?
It was definitely a family involved thing. Of course, the ultimate decision was LA's, but me and her dad were definitely involved in the process. We just didn't let her just be, oh, you just go and do it. Like, after each visit, she had to, like during the visit, not even after the visit, like we have her put in her notes in her phone, like pros and cons of each visit. Because after each visit, she was like, oh, I love that place. I said, you said that about the last place. Oh, I love it. I said, you said that about the last one. And once we hit the end of the summer, like we just sat down with her and she was just like, she pulled out her pros and cons, and she told us after the Utah visit, a few days later, she knew that's where she wanted to go, but she just wanted to process everything. And we sat down and talked to her, and that's when she was like, yeah, that's where
Got to
that's where I want
ask,
to go.
because of them being new members of the Big 12 and you all getting a chance to see her a few extra times a year
Mhm.
play, was playing in the Big 12, I mean, I'm sure, like, was it a part of the decision at all? Was it a positive? I'm sure it was a positive, but did it play a factor?
Uh, I mean, it was a positive. It wasn't a part of her decision, but it was definitely a positive because she'll be playing, in Texas, so we'll get to see her play. Like
Absolutely.
not just one time; it's couple of times where she's playing in Texas, and I feel like Big 12 is one of the most competitive conferences, in in the NCAA. So it's going to be
Now,
good for her.
I know her personally, great young lady, fantastic leader, very vocal, but again, that's just me. But just as a coach, you're the one you've raised her, but you've seen her from a competitive standpoint in the gym with you, from a high school standpoint, the past 4 years. Just what's it been like to coach your daughter?
It's been a blessing. Most people don't get this opportunity. A lot of people don't get this opportunity, and I definitely don't take it for granted. I know what I'm gonna get from LA every single night. She's a tough competitor. As people would say, she's a dog. She wants to win every single time she steps foot on the floor, and I know I'm gonna get that out of her every single time. And I'm just thankful I'm able to experience and see her grow each and every year. I feel like each year she has gotten better with something in her game, and yes, of course, I love seeing her, play and me being on the sideline, but I also enjoyed this summer. She grew so much this summer as a player, and I enjoyed
And
sitting back
then,
watching it.
we talked about, obviously, we know that is what the Utah fans can expect to see from her on the court, but she's so much more than that when you sit down and really get a chance to talk to her and get to know her. What can people in the Utah community expect to get from her as a young woman looking to just get into the community and give back? What can they expect off the court?
LA's a very genuine person. LA wants to be an FBI agent. When she graduates, that's what she wants to be. So, and then she's into mental health as well. So that's something that I think she's going to dab into, like in the community when she does get to Utah, the whole mental health thing, and make it her own. Because I know that's important to her. But the FBI thing is something that she really, really wants to do, and so they'll see, uh, a fun, exciting kid, a fiery kid on the floor, but off the floor, she's a young lady that's, wants to be out there getting to know people and just a great kid, a
Last
great person
question.
all
So I
around.
did not get a chance to get to Vegas for Wooten, but I did see the tweets. I did hear the chatter about how she really just continued to just put herself on. It seems like she's been around forever. I mean, she's what defensive player? I think she was defensive player of the tournament or when during that 3SSB run when Finest won that national championships. So I feel like she's just been on that scene for so long. But I just want to hear, you were there, talk about just what you saw and what she did to stand out amongst, some of the best players, most of the best players in the country.
Yeah, it was definitely a great camp. A lot of great talent there. I just feel like she displayed that yes, like LA. Everybody knows LA can drive, get to the basket. Like they know that. I think that in the Wooten camp, like she displayed hey, she can shoot the jump shot consistently. And she just went out there and had fun. And that's what I tell her every single time. Anytime you step foot on the court, just go out there and have fun. You don't have anything to prove. Just go out there and play and relax. You already know where you're going to school, so there's no pressure on you. Just relax and play. And I feel like
Coach,
that's what
thank you so much for taking the time to talk hoops with me. I look forward to watching you all play this season, getting there and watching some of the games that tip off in the tone, and hopefully we can catch up later on in the season and hear how the team's doing. Championship Productions is the industry leader in instructional videos for athletes and coaches. Whether it was skill development or learning how to more effectively attack his own offense or even performance training, I always felt like I leveled up my coaching game with every addition to my coaching library. So as a thank you for watching our content here at Echo Sports, I have a special offer for you. You can use the coupon code ECHO1010. That's all caps ECHOTEN10 for a 10% discount on all videos at championshipproductions.com. Now, this offer is only good through December 31st, 2024, so make sure to log on to championshipproductions.com to take advantage of this great offer and level up your coaching game today.
Thanks for listening to this podcast. Visit us online at echosports.org for more information.